Hello, my name's Han. I've got some F2000 gameplay here on Operation Metro 2.0. I wish I could get some more objective gameplays for you guys, but with the 5-minute time limit, it's a pretty good tongue twister for the Xbox One digital recorder. Makes it really hard to do, so for now it's going to be mostly team deathmatch. Now if you spent any time looking on the Battlelog forums, the Battlelog news section, or looked at Battlefield 4 on Twitter, you'll see people commenting on every single DICE post in all caps saying, "DICE, fix your game," or "DICE, fix your netcode," and you'll usually see that comment with several exclamation points after it. And that's getting really annoying because DICE is making several efforts to fix their game. Look, I'll be the first to admit that the launch of Battlefield 4 was just fucking abysmal, especially on the PC side. I was hearing you guys talk about how you couldn't even get through most games because of server crashes. Now, for console, I don't think it was as bad for most. Can't speak for PS3 or PS4, but for Xbox 360, the main problem was just the game freezing when you were trying to load a new map. And for the Xbox One, the main problem was just getting dashboarded randomly in the middle of games or right after games. Yeah, it was really bad, and if DICE was just sitting idly by, not doing anything with their game, just leaving it as it was, I would be right with you on yelling at DICE, telling them to fix their game. But the thing is, they are already fixing their game, and a bunch of angry people yelling at them to do it faster isn't going to motivate them. Just look at the game in its state as it came out, and look at the game in its state right now. I can only speak for Xbox 360 and Xbox One because that's all I've played, but I haven't had a single dashboard in, let's say, 3 weeks to a month, and another big problem I was having was the sound cutting out on certain maps. That hasn't been happening either recently. I had a few instances in the past getting stuck in the revive screen. That has stopped. The server browser on Xbox One was just terrible, and that it's all in working order now. So that's why these posts are just so infuriating. And the other big one is about fixing the netcode. And that is just... it's just ignorance and people copying what other people have said because it gets a lot of biceps up or whatever the fuck that is on the Battlelog. Anyone yelling at DICE about fixing the netcode like that it should have been fixed by now knows nothing about how games work. Look, I don't claim to be an expert, but I know that the netcode is the foundation of an online game, and it's not something you can just mess around with and try to fix all at once. The only way to improve netcode is by making these tiny, minute changes and then testing them for hours and hours and hours on end to make sure it doesn't ruin everything else. If you think the netcode can be fixed just by going into the developer's console, typing a few things in, and it'll magically be perfect, you really don't know what you're talking about. When you start playing around with a netcode and trying to fix it, there can be just anything can go wrong with the game. It could become unplayable very quickly. So that's why you have to make these tiny, tiny changes, and then test them for hours, and implement them just on an ongoing basis so it doesn't ruin the entire game. And I can assure you that's exactly what DICE has been doing. Netcode still needs a lot of work, but it's a lot better than it was at launch. These people making all these posts, I mean seriously, they don't care about the game. They're just the type of asshole who looks for anything to complain about. Look, if you really want to help improve the game, help them fix it better, work with DICE. Don't just yell at them, ordering them to fix a game. I think they know they should fix the game. If you find a new problem, go onto Twitter, go onto Battlelog, and just politely tell them, "Hey, I found this problem with the game. I think you should fix it. Thanks." And leave it at that. Like when I found that bug with the Gull Sniper Magnum where you can't get the scope, and because of that you can use the variable zoom with the iron sights. First thing I did, I went onto Battlelog and just said, "Hey, I found this problem with this gun. Take a look at it when you have some time." And then I made the video just to help get the word out further. It's things like that that helps the developers fix their game. And don't think that me saying all this means that I think DICE and EA are perfect for what they did. I mean, I think they're both at serious fault. The game by no means should have been released as it was. I think the main problem was EA rushing DICE out the door to beat Ghosts. I think that's the main problem, but at the state the game was in, even if it was rushed, DICE should have had this game a lot more polished than it was. Like, this seems like it's months and months behind being a full game. So yes, there are still a lot of problems with Battlefield. There are problems with the assignments, there's problems with the attachments for the second assault guns, like you can't get battle packs for them for some reason. I'm sure that's some kind of bug. The hit detection's not great, but I mean, if you think about it this way, there's 64 players on a single server, and Battlefield treats bullets as actual projectiles instead of hit scans like most shooters. Most shooters, the bullet will go exactly where you're aiming and get there instantaneous with you shooting, but this one has actual bullets that take time to get to the target. They have an algorithm for bullet drop, so getting the hit detection fixed is a huge thing. I mean, it's such a huge undertaking that I'm sure this game isn't even going to be as good as Battlefield 3 with hit detection. But I can assure you it will get better. Just give the developers some time, be polite, work with them to fix the game. And that's the end of this. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and all that. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.